Yesterday, we have finished reading the first sutta of the second section, the dart of painful feeling. Today, we are going to continue with the next sutta, the vicissitudes of life. Firstly, see if we can define vicissitudes here. It's unclickable. Yeah, I can't highlight this. Okay, let me go to Google instead. Vicissitude, a change of circumstances of fortune, typically one that is unwelcome or unpleasant. The second definition, alternation between opposite or contrasting things. Yeah. Let's go back to the book. So the vicissitudes of life, the change in our life. Sometimes also translated as 8 worldly conditions or 8 worldly winds. These eight worldly conditions, monks, keep the world turning around. And the world turns around these 8 worldly conditions. What 8? Gain and loss, fame and disrepute, praise and blame, pleasure and pain. Let me highlight this. These 8 worldly conditions, monks, are encountered by an uninstructed worldling, and they are also encountered by an instructed noble disciple. What now is the distinction, the disparity, the difference between an instructed noble disciple and an uninstructed worldling? So the Buddha started with mentioning these 8 worldly conditions affect the world. Yeah. But when these 8 worldly conditions encountered by both an instructed worldling and noble disciple, there seems to be a difference. So then the Buddha starts with the question, what then is the difference? Okay, Sister Choi Kwan, would you like to read next?
These 8 worldly conditions, monks.
From here.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Venerable Sir, our knowledge of these things has its roots in the Blessed One. It has the Blessed One as guide and resort. It would be good, Venerable Sir, if the Blessed One would clarify the meaning of that statement. Having heard it from him, the monks will bear it in mind. Listen then, monks, and attend carefully. I shall speak. Yes, Venerable Sir, the monks replied. The Blessed One then spoke thus.
Okay, thanks, Chai Kwan. I think your mic has a bit problem, a bit soft. Yeah, okay. Okay, then this part is where the monks request for the Buddha to elaborate further. Next paragraph, Brother Waken, would you like to read?
Listen then, monks. Sorry. Listen then, monks, and attend carefully. I shall speak. Yes, Venerable Sir, the monks replied. The Blessed One then spoke thus. When an uninstructed worldling, monks, comes upon gain, he does not reflect on it thus. This gain that has come to me is impermanent, bound up with suffering, subject to change. He does not know it as it really is. And when he comes upon loss, fame and disrepute, praise and blame, He does not reflect on them thus. All these are impermanent, bound up with suffering, subject to change. He does not know them as they really are. With such a person, gain and loss, fame and disrepute, praise and blame, pleasure and pain, keep his mind engrossed. When gain comes, he is elated, and when he meets with loss, he is dejected. When fame comes, he is elated, and when he meets with disrepute, he is dejected. When praise comes, he is elated, and when he meets with blame, he is dejected. When he experiences pleasure, he is elated, and when he experiences pain, he is dejected. Being thus involved in likes and dislikes, he will not be freed from birth, aging, and death, from sorrow, lamentation, pain, dejection, and despair. He will not be freed from suffering, I say.
Thanks, Brother Waken. Okay, so the Buddha starts with how an uninstructed worldling, when encounter these 8 worldly conditions, how they would react. Firstly, he does not reflect on this. He does not reflect on the gain that come to us is impermanent, bound up with suffering, subject to change. We do not know it as it really is. Is there any example that you can think of? Probably the common one is money. Every month, some of us get a monthly salary. So how is money impermanent? Right now, if you are citizens of some country that is currently involved in the war, your money might worth much less. And even in Singapore, year after year, your money's value will decrease because of inflation. So $100 today might not be the same value $100 10 years from now. Why? Because if you buy chicken rice, let's say, or ramen, $5 today, 10 years from now, the cost of ramen might change to $10. Yeah. So today you can buy 20 bowls of ramen, but 10 years from now, you can only buy 10 bowls of ramen. Okay. That's one way we did not reflect the impermanence of whatever gain is coming to us. Yeah, bound with suffering is subject to change. And similarly, also with loss. Yeah. When we lost something, we feel so painful because we do not reflect this, that the loss are also impermanent, bound up with suffering, subject to change. With the rest of the 8 worldly conditions, all these 8 worldly conditions keep our mind engrossed. When gain comes, he's elated. When he meets with loss, he's dejected. Yeah, same with fame, same with repute, same with praise, same with blame. Also pleasure and pain. This one is particularly interesting. Praise and blame. Let me highlight this. Orange. Okay. This one. When praise comes, he is elated, and when he meets with blame, he is dejected. This is, okay, for my experience, particularly true coming from either someone you love or someone you respect. If that someone you respect and then gives you some praise, oh, okay, yes, I did a good job. If that someone criticizes you, hey, why do you do stuff like this? Then I feel, oh no, I screw up, I need to do better. Oh, painful. This is my own experience. Okay. Any questions or comments so far?
Or someone or someone you don't like criticizes you.
Yeah, that works too. Yes, yes. Yeah, let's say random stranger on the street criticize me. Probably it doesn't feel as much painful. So it's either someone you like or someone you dislike. When they do this stuff or feel something. Okay, let's continue reading. Sister Sagyan, would you like to read?
But monks, when an instructed noble disciple comes upon gain, he reflects on it thus: this gain that has come to me is impermanent, bound up with suffering, subject to change. And so he will reflect when loss and so forth come upon him. He understands all these things as they really are, and they do not engross his mind. Thus, he will not be elated by gain and dejected by loss, elated by fame and dejected by disrepute, elated by praise and dejected by blame, elated by pleasure and dejected by pain. Having thus given up likes and dislikes, he will be freed from birth, aging, and death, from sorrow, lamentation, pain, dejection, and despair. He will be freed from suffering, I say. This, monks, is the distinction, the disparity, the difference between an instructed noble disciple and an uninstructed worldling.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
How true it is. In our everyday life, we are really, experiencing all this all the time, seeking for pleasure, not wanting pain. And yeah, when somebody praise us, blame us, that is where we should be focusing on. Yeah.
Okay, thanks again for reading and for sharing. This is taken from Anguttara Nikaya, Book of 8, yeah, Sutta number 6. Anything to share or comment? If not, let's do a dedication. 愿消三障诸烦恼，愿得智慧真明了。普愿罪障悉消除，实是常行菩萨道。阿弥陀佛。Hear me again. You will be guided by the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Have a restful Sunday ahead. So we are reading one sutta a day. What's that saying? A sutta a day keeps the Mara away. Okay, thanks everyone for participating.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.